Story the other day about how there's a generation. I guess it's seventh grade math scores are plummeting in the U.S. and they attribute that to the lockdown that happened. Now, good or bad, I actually enjoyed the lockdown because I'm an introvert, but um, the kids needed that social structure, and so I hope they correct it, and I hope they're just a blip in the system, and I hope that things are getting back. But this whole idea of not working from home, I've worked from home since I was 33, and I dig it, and I think a lot of people should do it. However, there was some good stuff in the office. If you're working from home, and if you start to get isolated, you got to take steps to de-isolate yourself, because experience, when the number one thing to be a good copywriter, people ask me this all the time, it ain't an English education. English teachers want to murder me, for what I do to the language, but I understand what I'm doing. But the number one thing, if you want to be a really good copywriter or even a good businessman, you got to have life experience. You got to because you have to understand people, and you can't understand people from a book. I don't care how. You can have a PhD in psychology, and I know some of these people, and not know shit about how people around you think. And, persuasion comes from understanding where the other person is, walking a mile in their shoes. And I grew up, fortunately, I was an experienced junkie, even as an introvert. I mean, I hitchhiked I read Jack Kerouac's On the Road, and the next weekend grabbed a friend from college, and we went hitchhiking, and we were out for 3 or 4 days, and I wound up doing that a lot. And you meet people, you talk to them. You have to meet people. With two of you hitchhiking, by the way, what you would do is you trade off being in the front seat, because the only reason they picked you up is they're lonely and they want to talk. And then there was the partying that was going on. There was, it was the psychedelic era. It was they didn't clearly understand alcoholism and drug addiction and things like that. So it was pretty wild. But for me, it was like, I didn't like doing a lot of things more than once unless I still had lessons to learn. So, I just kept pushing myself.